SKOL Vikings, let's win the game. SKOL Vikings, honor your name. First get a first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em, fight, 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 fight. SKOL Vikings, run up the score. Your ears cheer for more. VIKINGS, SKOL Vikings, let's go! Wow!
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I think I got it. Wow. I couldn't do that if you paid me. I like this. Yeah, this is definitely not rehearsed.
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest
beautiful.
small town in the USA.
The greatest.
The people
I
in
love
it,
this.
and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reiss and Mark Benzer.
Hey everybody, we have got an awesome episode. Not that all of our other episodes aren't awesome, but this is something that we can all get behind. Yeah, Vikings aren't playing, but we have local internet superstar Glenn Reisnen with us. He's gotten viral more times than, well, insert joke here. But Glenn Reisnen, thank you for coming into the studio.
Well, thank you for having me, Tyler.
All right.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that dance just a little bit. We just got out of the parking lot.
Oh, it's something that I like to do. It's fun to do at the games, and it's just fun to pump people up. And lots of people get entertainment, and they get pumped up by people telling me that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think the first, what was it, maybe 2 seasons ago, is when maybe that first video came out that went viral per se. Are you a season ticket holder of the Vikings, or was that just a game that you happened to be at? And
I am not a season ticket holder at the Vikings.
Okay.
No, actually, that was last year.
Was it last year?
October 13th versus the Philadelphia Eagles is the first time I went viral.
Okay.
And I was down there. I went down there with a bus. Madigan's in Maple Lake has a deal with $100. You can ride the bus down there and a ticket to the game.
Sure.
And they have a breakfast they had. And I went to 2 of the games there, and then the other ones the other games I went were just signal tickets, and I just bought them.
Uh-huh.
And then I was blessed enough to go viral at that game. And then on the 29th of December, I was blessed to go viral twice in one game.
Okay.
When we're saying viral, this is millions of views of these dances.
I think the one is 625,000 views, and the other one's got 981,000 views.
I checked that one on Barstool. One's over 2 million.
That's what I've been told by some of the fans I've met.
Some of your fans.
Sure. I heard the one was over 2 million. That was the one that said it died for the Minnesota Vikings.
Gotcha.
And is that true?
Yeah. Yes.
Tough shot. Yeah.
No, well.
Right. You love the Vikings.
The Vikings are great. Yep. Fun. It's a fun thing to watch. It's great entertainment. Win or lose. I mean, if they lose, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
But you like to see them win. Mm-hmm. You just got to have a positive attitude and stay positive.
Yeah. And that, you talk about a positive attitude and being a Vikings fan, and sometimes those things don't go hand in hand. The Vikings do everything they can to take any positive thoughts out of our brain. But how long have you been a Vikings fan, and what's your secret to keeping that positivity so high?
I'd say I've been a Vikings fan, I'd say, for about 50 years. Growing up, I used to watch the Vikings with my dad a lot, and he passed away in 1983. Yeah, we were big sports fans of the Vikings, and I'd have to say my favorite player is probably Fran Tarkington. Is probably because you always were in a game with Fran Tarkington. He was just in the clutch.
Sure.
I mean, he could scramble. The Vikings haven't had a quarterback like him.
Right.
Especially for that era, he was just amazing.
Yeah, and they've struggled finding. We really do have to go back quite a ways to find we've had good years with Brett Favre. Christian Ponder kind of never turned out to be who we had hoped he would be. But I think since Fran Tarkenton, you'd have to go probably Culpepper or Kirk Cousins as the most steady presence we've had at quarterback since then. We've had a hard time filling that role.
I would have to agree with that. I would say I would have to say, really hard.
Yeah.
We went through lots of quarterbacks, and they haven't Bridgewater, Ponder. Yeah, they just haven't panned out here.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully Kirk Cousins can bring the gold home.
Exactly.
The
Wouldn't that be
Vikings.
fun?
That would be awesome.
People would still hate him, but
No, I think it's forgivable if he finally wins in that prime time. I'm going to interject a little bit of my own virility here. Today we're recording on the 3rd anniversary of the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yes, we are.
I was actually contacted by, it was ESPN Sports or NBC Sports, because my watch went off during that game, and it said, it shook, and it said, your heartbeat is over 120 beats after being, you weren't moving for the last 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden now your heart is like, the thing is having a heart attack. So anyway, I took a picture of it and I put it on Facebook, and all of a sudden now I see it on ESPN, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess Vikings is really doing it to me here. But it's kind of funny that you came in today. I just got reminded of that this morning.
sure.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, that was an amazing event when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
What of super awesome Viking time, what is your number one memory of Vikings football?
Oh, wow, that's probably the Vikings played the Cleveland Browns, and Ahmad Rashad. They were down like by 10 points with like a minute and a half to go, and they ended up winning the game in the last second. Ahmad Rashad caught a pass from Fran Tarkington. I'd have to say it'd be probably 1978. I'm guessing that would be one of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen.
Sure.
With Fran Tarkington, they came back for so many games when he was playing. It's unreal.
Yeah. Was that a playoff game or a regular season?
It was a regular season game.
Sure.
But other than that, I mean, when they went to the Super Bowl, they just choked. The Vikings choked every year. The 4 times that they were in the Super Bowl, it was.
I got this one. It's the only time I've got that soundbite right. I've got to agree. I don't remember those days, as I'm quite a bit younger than that. But I got to say the Minneapolis Miracle is my own personal favorite one, just because it was so intense. And then again, they laid an egg the next week completely.
Yes.
I guess maybe one of my most memorable is maybe my daughter's a super fan now too, is, accidentally said a bad word in front of her when Blair Walsh missed wide left. Ouch. I said, "You have to be bleeping kidding me." And she started crying. I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the TV. But, the ups and downs, you had your favorite. Do you have a least favorite?
The least.
Or biggest disappointment?
That's a good question. I would have to say the biggest disappointment is. That is a good question.
There's so many to choose.
There are so many to choose. I'd have to say when the
Gary Anderson.
1998.
Yep, that's a good one. Yeah, I would say, that is good. 1998.
A bad one? A good one?
That's all we have to say.
Yep, 1998 when Gary Anderson missed his first field goal of the whole entire year. Mm-hmm. That would rank right up there. I would have to say, yep, 1990. Yeah, they had a 15-1 season. It looked like they were great. The Bucks were the only one to beat them in the 7th game of the year. They beat them because the Vikings couldn't stop them from running in that game.
Allstott went wild on that game.
Allstott went wild, and but yeah, that's the year the Vikings were having a song already before they even got there. That we're going to Miami.
Yeah.
We're going to Miami.
Yeah,
that's a silver bullet right there.
And that year, that team was just unbelievable. They just put up points, but they just couldn't get it done on that day. And the Gary in the 1990, that would be the biggest disappointment I'd have to say is the 98.
I think that is the year that, 98, I would have been 17, 18 years old. I think that's the year I kind of decided I wasn't going to let football control my emotion so much, because it was like a 2-day, maybe even a week-long depression of this is not supposed to end this way. And so I feel like I've never truly regained that pure here, Vikings, you can have my heart. And I keep it now. I guard it a little bit, and I can't let them do that to me anymore. So ever since then,
I mean, I lay it out there.
Yeah,
I lay it out there. Although it gets pretty easy to be pretty crusty when they're not doing so great. Not happy.
Well, it's a game, you know. You like to see them win, but if it's not, they don't win. It's not the end of the world. I mean,
right.
There are more important things that are going to happening, but you'd like to see the Vikings win.
Right. Proof is we're here. We're doing this podcast.
Absolutely.
And the Vikings have lost several heartbraking games.
And hundreds of heartbreaking games.
We're still here. What else, Glenn? What else? Obviously you're a big Vikings fan, but been in the Buffalo area a long time. What else do we need to know about you?
Oh, I like to dance.
Yep.
I love to dance. Dancing is fun. I've been reffing soccer in Buffalo, and I've been the Buffalo ref coordinator here for the last 16 years. And yeah, I've been reffing soccer for the last 16 years. That's something I didn't think that I would ever do in my whole entire lifetime. Like, I've never played this sport, and my stepdaughters started playing. Started playing soccer. And then somebody said, well, you should be a referee. And then they said, well, you should be the ref coordinator. And so then I've been doing that. So I've been reffing soccer from the ages of 18. I do high school games also for the last 16 years. And I also volunteer for suicide awareness. My sister Gail Reisman is the coordinator for suicide awareness. We raise funds for mental illness.
Okay.
And what else I do that.
I know that coordinating referees is a thankless job at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I like doing it and teaching referees to ref. And sometimes, when you're reffing, sometimes you have to discipline people, but
sure,
it's all in the game.
Give them a red card, yellow card,
whatever
they deserve.
Yeah, whatever. I don't hand out many of those. Usually, when I'm on the field, I talk a lot to the players and just tell them to do this or this. They don't do that.
Sure.
But yeah, otherwise, if you have to do a yellow card or red card, then you got to do that. Yep. Sometimes you got to kick people out, and hopefully that doesn't happen very often.
Yep.
In your years of refereeing, has anybody ever tried to bribe you?
No.
Okay.
That has not happened.
I'm just sitting here.
No, that hasn't happened.
Thinking about getting into refereeing.
Wow, things slow down a little bit. The original football. I'm impressed with how positive you are. Maybe I did reference your Facebook. Where do you get that energy? I mean, you just there's a light about you.
Oh, well, I just wake up in the morning and just try to have a positive outlook on life and just ready to go to work. And I'm just blessed to work where I work. I work at this place called Abbott Medical Device Company, and I've been there 21 years. And I work with a great group of people there. Everybody there is a team player.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Well, another reason we had you on, especially during the season, is we've been doing a Vikings guessing the winner game.
We're trying to give money away,
but nobody's doing it. So you saw us post that. We're up to it was $340. I raised it to $350 because it made a little bit more sense on how we're going to break it down. But we're in the midst of the playoffs. This is actually round 2 is already going to be done by the time this airs next week. But for the Super Bowl, we're going to be asking everybody to guess the total points, cumulative points for both teams, and the closest without going over at halftime is going to win $100, and the closest without going over is going to win $250 at the end of regulation, at the end of the game, because it could go into overtime. So, for example, 21-20, Bucks beat are Bucks going to the Super Bowl?
No, they're not.
Who's going to go?
I would say Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers.
So
I hate to say that, but the Packers, they look tough. They look really tough. I don't know how they're going to be stopped. Their offense is just, I've been watching the last couple of weeks, and they look tough. They're tough to beat. They just score at will.
and they're so smart. Aaron Rodgers is a smart football player.
He is a smart football player. I mean, I hope they lose. I hope they get beat this week, but I don't know. The Packers look tough. That's all I
So, for an example, okay, so the Packers get beat in the Super Bowl by the Chiefs, and it's going to be 21-20. That's going to be the final score. And you guessed 41, all right, you win. If you guessed 40 and nobody else guessed 41, you also win. If you guess 42, you lose. You don't win, even though you might be closest. So that's how it's going to work, and you have to message us that guess. And messaging it, and if there's a tie, we're going to split it, but it has to be messaged to our Facebook page for entries
Messenger.
only. Yep.
Reason being is a message that we get on Messenger is time-stamped,
Yep.
and comments are not time-stamped.
And it's one central place.
And it's one central place. So it needs to be in before the kickoff,
Yep.
and it needs to be messaged. Messaged. So, hopefully we get a lot of participation in that. Money's going to be given away. There's no non-winners in this situation. So you could send us a guess now, or you could wait for the teams to be determined if that's really going to have a big impact on your final score prediction. But
I think it might. I mean, you get gunslingers in there. I mean, it could be.
yeah, you guys like Ponder chucking
Over
the ball
under
around.
of 70 points. I mean, that's Ponder.
So
Awesome. Is there anything that you would like to tell our listeners of 25,000 people here? Any message that you want to leave with them?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for all the support, for all the great comments that I hear around town and stuff. And I just thank everybody. And I thank you guys for having me on today. It's a pleasure to be here in the beautiful town of Buffalo. It's an awesome place to live.
yeah, well, we're super thankful that you were able to come in and give everybody another chance to get to know you a little bit better besides the dancing Vikings fan. So there's a lot more to you than that. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. For the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reiss with Edina Realty.
I'm Mark Benzer with Country Financial.
I'm Glenn Reisman from Buffalo, Minnesota. Thank you.
Viking Superfan.
Well, thanks.